Hello, Star Wars and unboxing fans. Welcome to a kind of unusual episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. It seems like I do a lot of unusual episodes, and for that, it's just because, you know, I'm getting interested in doing more than just unboxing. Why? Well, because for one thing, there hasn't been a ton of stuff being made available, although lots of stuff is on order, so we'll see what happens with that. But more importantly than that, I think that, well, there's just been some interesting things that I've kind of taken a look at online that I think I want to try my hand at, so I thought I would share one of those things with you. I just watched a video from a YouTube channel, give them full credit, Rescue and Restore. Now, if you haven't seen a video like this, you're in for a treat, because if you are a vintage collector, or, you know, someone who owns vintage toys that are used, you know, toys that you took out of the box and played with, that's great. You know me, I'm an unboxer. I love doing that. However, you might, from toys from the 1970s and 80s, you might find that after being stored in or on display with fluorescent lights or what have you, or just being played with a great deal, that the toys kind of have a shelf wear and tear, if you will. Remember, these toys were not designed to last forever. So I got to thinking, and I was watching this this Rescue and Restore, and they actually took things like the X-Wing fighter from Kenner, the Millennium Falcon, and they actually took the whole thing apart and restored it. There have been plenty of this. I am not in any way early to this party. I know that I'm very late. But I thought about it, and I said, you know, the other day I was doing some straightening downstairs, and I noticed that, you know, there was something kind of amiss. Some of my toys from the vintage days were looking kind of sad, particularly the ones from the first movie, Star Wars, like the 1978, 79, and 80. Those toys seem to have a lot of wear and tear. So I thought, I looked at Rescue and Restore, this video, and I thought maybe I could try my hand at it. So I thought I would give that a shot right now. So, you know, we're just going to I'm going to take you on this journey from the moment I thought of it through the actual process. I don't know if I'm going to show you every little aspect of it, but, you know, I thought I would give it a shot. So going down to my basement. Okay, sorry for the darker light, but you can see here, well, if you wanted some light, I guess I can turn on one of my, whoa, don't do that. There we go. We got some red light there to help us down. Okay, so those are my lightsabers, you can see. Here. You can go back on previous videos and you can see where that all came from. Over here, you can see my nifty trooper clock that I made, and then it still works, so that's good. Sorry for the darkness here. Okay, let me kind of go through here. Oh, dear. Okay, here's the studio. And going into my, whoa, very dark. This is like the main part of the collection, okay? You can see there's lots of hodgepodge. But I wanted to point it out down here. Uh-oh, looks like Obi-Wan had a bad fall. Sorry there, buddy. I don't know how that happened. I worry that there are mice, but hopefully not. All right, so, of course, I don't have a lot of room here, so I had to do a little stacking. This is, of course, a brand new toy. This is Poe Dameron's X-Wing from Force Awakens, I believe. This is the one I'm talking about, right here. I saw this video of Rescue and Restore, and they had a Millennium Falcon that looked quite a bit like this. So I thought maybe I would take this out and kind of take a look-see here. All right. Putting it on my washing machine, excuse me. Okay, so as you can see, this awesome toy, one of the best toys to come out of the original Star Wars line, has definitely seen some better days. So you can see it's very yellowed. It's got a kind of a grime on it. This is, you know, between playing with it, inside, outside, all over the place, okay? And then storing it, you know, unprotected, and then just keeping it on display kind of plain. It's seen some better days, okay? Now, I can tell you, you know, there's something, yeah, obviously there's a lot of labels have fallen off, a lot of the decals, okay? I can tell you without any reservation that this toy, you know, has seen better days, but I want to just kind of check it and give it the once over. Some of it is actually in pretty good shape. There's a little bit of rust from the batteries. Not too bad. Now, I also wanted to kind of take a look here and see what we have. Now, it's partially complete. You know, we have the trap door there, or the false floor. We have the chest table. We have the gun, still works. We have both legs for the ramp lowering. We do still have all three landing gear legs. But what are we missing? Right here is supposed to be the piece that holds the remote and the training remote for Luke to work with. Okay. We also seem to, you know, I would say that the main part of this looks like it seems to, the cardboard backing here seems to have done pretty well. So, all right, so now we see what we got. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do, okay, is I'm going to start the ball rolling on a little bit of a restore, okay? Now this could take some time. So, you know, people watching the channel on a regular basis, you might see, you know, this might take months and months and months. Of course, you know, for you, this will only take a few minutes. But I'm going to do what I can do. First, I'm going to see about ordering those replacement parts. Doesn't look like anything else needs to be replaced. I think oh, that's interesting. Oh. Yeah, it looks like some things are more clicky than others, but that's okay. All right, so I think I want to start looking into some restoration. So we're going to take care of that, okay? More information and more video clips to update will follow. So here we go. Here it is, folks. The fully restored 1979 Millennium Falcon. Okay, this took about 5 or 6 days of work on and off. Some of that work was waiting for certain items to arrive. I'm sure you saw in the photos. But just to kind of walk through it, essentially what I did was I ended up utilizing a thing called hydrogen peroxide, which I bought in large quantities to, you know, after I took the whole thing apart and gave everything a good clean wash, and I bought a bin, filled it with warm water, soap. That did a world of difference. And honestly, folks, if you do nothing but that, if you have a very dingy, dirty Falcon from when you were playing as a child, you can simply do that and then put it all back together, and that would be an excellent restore. Obviously, though, keep in mind that when you do decide to, and when and if you decide to do this, you're going to have to get new decals, because when you wash it with warm water, all the decals will come off. In fact, mine, most of the decals came off before I even started doing anything. It just, you know, natural just kind of wear and tear and air kind of forced everything to just kind of, all the glue to dry up and everything just kind of fell off. So the only exception to that was the back burners, okay? These were really hard to get off. I actually had to put them in warm water and soap and scrub them and actually utilize a razor to get them, look for where I put that razor, a razor to actually get them to come off. So you got to be a little careful with it. But if you do that alone, you're going to have a really nice piece. If you want to try to get even more, or if your toy has a lot of yellowing, there is this process called retrobrighting. And retrobrighting essentially is that you take hydrogen peroxide, you fill it, you fill a bin or a container with it, enough that you can submerge the pieces individually in it. And then you take black light. So you dip it in the hydrogen peroxide and you cover it with a clear, like acrylic top. And then you put basically black lights on top of it and you let it sit. I let mine sit for about 8 hours, each piece. Now, I could do some pieces more than one piece in the bin, but generally the big pieces, the bottom, the top, and the removable top here, I ended up doing for about 8 hours each. They say you should do it for 24 hours. I found that 8 hours for my toy seemed to really bring out, just bring the original color back. I was a little nervous that it was going to bring it back to a stark white, which would not be right because that's not the color it was. But no, it just takes away any kind of yellowing, any kind of dingy film just from UV light or whatever. You want to, it just kind of lifts that up and takes care of that. Okay, but if you have a white toy like an X-Wing fighter or something like that, you may have to be prepared to put it in and leave it submerged and have it and black light on there for a little bit longer. Okay, but I did it for about 8 hours each. I did 8 hours on the bottom, 8 hours on the top, and then I took all the loose pieces like the cockpit and the bottom and the dish, and I kind of put them in a smaller dish, and I did them for another 8 hours, and that seemed to really bring it out. Now, at this point, at the point of this making the video, there are two things, a couple things you should be aware of. This piece of toy had been played with seriously, so there are some problems with it, meaning there are some broken pieces. Specifically, one of the landing gear is not, if I lift it and shake it up too much, it's going to fall right out because one of the latch pieces broke off years ago. In fact, I found it kind of fallen inside the thing. When I took it apart, this little piece came out. And I went, oh, that's why this thing never, when I remember as a kid, we could never keep the landing gear in, and that's why it just had broken off and I didn't realize. In addition to that, the ramp, the loading ramp, which is on this side, it comes off, but it actually comes off completely because some of this has been clipped off. So I've been trying to kind of snap it in the right way, but it looks as though it just doesn't want to stay. So I might try to find a replacement landing gear, or not landing gear. So I might try to find a replacement landing gear leg and a replacement ramp just to kind of get it to stay in there more permanently. And then the only other thing missing, if you take the lid off, and this is the very, very, very common, the training remote and the little thread and little holder that sits right here, that has gone missing, as it does on everybody's Millennium Falcon because it's about this big. So I did put in an order on eBay for a replacement, not an original, but a replacement one, and we'll get that put on here. And if what I'll do is I'll wait for that to come, and then I will tack that on, either right here or at the end of the video. So as you can see, a real, oh, and of course decals, you can find decals online. People sell them for just maybe $5, $10. You can even find in certain places that they have, you can, templates where if you have, you want to print them out, just be aware when you print them out on a piece of label paper, you're going to have to cut them, which can be a little bit challenging. Some of these are really, really small. So to me, it was worth trying to get it wasn't worth trying to do that. I just ended up finding it online. I also found the peroxide online and the black light. Okay. Now I will say that in addition to all of this, if you want to get a really good step-by-step process of doing this, I mean, I put mine on high speed just to kind of show you, but there are great restore websites. One site or one YouTube channel called Rescue and Restore. this gentleman did an amazing job of kind of walking you through it. It's actually very fun to watch. It's almost therapeutic because there's no music, no noise, no talking. He just kind of shows the whole thing. And it's really well done. And that's kind of what I was using. I'm going to see in the high speed I had my iPad. I was actually just kind of going through it this whole time and kind of copying it. And it worked out great. It really was. And he also includes in the descriptions, he does a lot of more vintagey, old-timey toys. But there is an X-Wing and a Millennium Falcon restoration. And he includes in the description places that you can go, links on Amazon and whatnot to order the supplies you would need. But again, as I said, for anybody who's just trying to, kind of spruce up their old toy and maybe redo the labels, a hot bath and scrubbing it with a paintbrush and a toothbrush for little areas is all you need to do for it to just kind of really clean up. Okay, so that'll do it for this unusual episode of Darth Tuba's unboxing show. Thank you so much for watching. Check out all of my other videos. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button, all that stuff. Please share the video. Please leave some comments. If you've done your own restorations, let me know. I'd love to see photos of them. And maybe I'll do some, depending on how many people comment or watch, maybe I'll try to do a few more. I've got all my old vintage toys that I would love to restore and get them back to a more nice displayable position. And looking forward to that. So until next time, may the Force and the toys that are restored be with you.